Well, the home portion of the Sacramento Kings 25-26 season is in the books, and they go out on a high note. They beat the Warriors tonight 124-118. The Jazz also won, so the Kings and the Jazz with one game left have identical records. Ryno in Sacktown, Jerry Reynolds in Naples, taking you home here after the Kings' victory. And Jerry, how about Devin Carter in this game?
Well, he was really good. There's no doubt about it. And I just the more you've seen him play, you're starting to see why he was drafted where he was. I mean, really a tough kid. I said, this team needs a few more shitbirds, and he's got some shitbird in him. And definitely he'll go at guys. I think he and Cardwell, I really like their legitimate fearlessness. That works in the NBA.
Jerry, most players we need to assign a position to, but is it fair to say Devin's in that group that's just a basketball player where he's not great at one particular thing?
Yeah, I do. I mean, he's really what you call a combo guard. I mean, he's a basketball player. He can, obviously defend a couple of positions, which is maybe more important than how he plays offensively. But I think he can play off the ball or with the ball. And as time goes on, it looks, it's encouraging. I'll say that. Very encouraging.
And you got Max Ryno, another really good game with 23 points on only 12 shots, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, just wrapping up a really marvelous rookie season.
Yeah, and tonight's game was really interesting to me because, honestly, they played without Ryno didn't see the ball for about 10 minutes of the second half. They were just going up down the floor, and especially in the third quarter, they got away from him where he didn't even touch it. And but he still played. I mean, I guess the thing impressed me. He still played hard and competed, and really down the stretch of the game was really a difference maker.
Jerry, are we overvaluing him by saying he deserves now to be on the first all-rookie team?
Maybe, I wouldn't say. I mean, when you look at, there's 3 rookies that are just far, far better. I mean, and that's, Edgecombe and Knipple and Cooper Flagg, those 3. Now, when you get into, in my mind, you get into any of the rest of them, you can make cases about however you want to.
It's going to be close. I think he'll be second All-NBA team. That's where I think he'll end up. But that doesn't, whether he's first NBA or second NBA rookie team, we've had a chance to watch him play every night, whereas the rest of the league probably has not. And they're probably slow to get on his bandwagon, so to speak. But we've seen enough of him to know that he's got a bright future in this league.
Yeah, it really is. And getting to play with the French national team, that's a great experience.
Yeah.
He's going to get bigger and stronger. And, I mean, he's got star qualities in there. I mean, he's going to have to improve his defense significantly. That's for sure. But his scoring ability and his skill set is really good.
Yeah, the fact that he put on muscle during the season as a rookie, we've talked about that here on this show before. That's impressive. But the way that he started, Jerry, to be able to take that bump offensively and stay composed in finish plays, that's what's really surprised me.
Yeah, me too, because as you guys know, that generally rookies lose weight during the year. It's hard to keep it on.
Right.
And that's to his credit. And he can, basically he's a guy that can put another 10, 15 on and carry it very easily. And I think we'll see that as, his career as he develops.
Again, a lot of people are upset that the Kings won. I get it. But again, the players don't care about the draft. They don't care. The players that are playing are going to go out and compete. So I don't know what else you're supposed to do. They didn't play DeMar DeRozan. They don't have Westbrook. They don't have Levine. They don't have Sabonis. I mean, you should just enjoy with what you're watching right now. Let the chips fall where they may. You can't expect these guys to go out and miss shots on purpose. They're not going to do that. They're playing for their NBA career. Devin Carter may not be on the Kings, but guess what? He's playing, even though he's on the contract. He's opening up eyes around the league. That's what he's trying to do. These guys don't care about the draft. We need to stop with that. It is what it is. Whether you're first, second, third, or fourth, you only have an 11% chance of getting the number 1 pick. I mean, the lottery's a joke. So just go out and see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's one of those things that we've all been talking about playing the young guys. Well, that's who played, and they played well, and they got the win. If I if I had any kind of a criticism, it'd be toward the Warriors.
Yep.
I wonder,
They're terrible.
Being a conspiracy theorist, like I maybe am, why would Kerr not play Draymond Green and Curry down the stretch? I mean, it's almost like, I guess I thought does Kerr really want the Kings to win and hurt their draft position?
Interesting.
I mean, you know what? To me, maybe they ought to fine the Warriors because of Draymond Green, because he accused the Kings of tanking the other night. That's what the Warriors look like they did to me tonight.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I mean, he was healthy, wasn't he? And he's supposed to be one of the best players they've got.
Yep.
And he wasn't on the floor when it counted. They're down.
Yep.
So, me thinks we're on to something here.
Yeah, you don't forget, teams can tank and still be in the play-in and be in the, well, we'll leave it to the play-in, but you can still tank by not playing the right players, guys, that the fans pay to come see.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and too, Ryan, I mean, like saying a game like this, now they had really nothing to play for except to beat the Kings. I mean, their position is their position in the play-in. But in my mind, I guess I've got too much mean-spiritedness in me, but it just seemed to me like Kerr really didn't go all out and try to win.
Fair.
And I mean,
the Kings outscored the Warriors in that fourth quarter, 42-29. And who was on the floor for the Warriors and who wasn't on the floor for the Warriors?
Exactly.
They pulled Curry, I want to say right around the 5.5 minutes, 6 minutes.
I think it was 5:40, right?
Right around there, yeah.
Yep. So what does that tell you?
Well, okay, here's the other side. He tweaked his ankle early in the game, but he was able to play through that. He missed last night. My thought is, Jerry, and maybe
no, he didn't miss last night. They rested him last night. They didn't play him. It was the Warriors' decision not to play him last night.
So he
was a healthy scratch last night.
So they didn't play him last night. Jerry, is there any, as a coach, a strategy, or is every situation different with a guy like that?
Well, I think, obviously with Curry there is, but having said that, he didn't play last night, and he returned from that little tweak, which I thought the tweak was a really just a byproduct of having the ball stolen by Carter. I thought that was I really did. I thought that's all fake kind of thing, because if it was really a bad tweak, he couldn't have come back as quick as he did. And actually, he was up walking pretty good right away. And the other part of it is, I thought the Kings did a great job on him. Carter and those guys made it tough on Curry. And but anyway, yeah, you can see it any way you want to. I really do believe that, in my opinion, Kerr didn't play those guys because he almost wanted to screw the Kings out of a possible draft position.
You got to remember, he's very close with Mike Brown.
I'm going to go with that. They're
good point.
Steve Kerr is very tight with Mike Brown, and there's no, how do I want to say this? Everyone understands how Steve Kerr felt when Mike Brown got fired last year, whether you agree with that or not. And I think he would do anything in his power to try to screw over the Kings. I really believe that.
That's well,
my stance.
All that said, I did think, and it wasn't a single point that he scored, Jerry, but I thought that was the signature play of Devin Carter's career in Sacramento, running through Draymond Green's chest.
Oh, me too. What a great play. And that's what I said. I mean, boy, the Kings need guys like that. We've been talking about that. I mean, he ran right through Draymond, and I guarantee you, Draymond and the Warriors, they knew what was happening. And of course, they took a shot at Carter later on.
Right.
And we need somebody to stir the pot now and then. You just do.
Well, it's a breath of fresh air. Also, New Works Plumbing, they are going to be a breath of fresh air for you too when you're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We got a plumbing issue. No problem. New Works Plumbing, 916-73-1010 or newworksplumbing.com. Water heaters, water line repair, sewer repair, water filtration, gas lines. They do everything. You have a plumbing issue, get in touch with New Works Plumbing. Again, the number on your screen, the website, New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. Kings win tonight, and they do it by beating the Warriors with all their fans in the building, which I personally love to see.
Yeah, one other thought I'd get you guys' thoughts on this is that clearly the young guys played and all that, but with the fact that Malik Monk didn't hardly play, and when he did, he was terrific.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a case where they clearly went with the young guys regardless, and yet they had one of their best players available and just played him spot minutes, really.
10 minutes.
Yeah,
only 10 minutes for Malik Monk tonight.
Great point, Jerry. I would have rather the Kings just sat him out for the night, because that's the only thing you can point to and say, oh, well, Malik, what was it? 10 points in 11 minutes?
10 minutes, 11 points in 10 minutes.
Points in 10 minutes. You can point to that and say, all right, if you're trying to win, you're going to go back to that pot, because Malik's not exactly an old man, Jerry.
No, that's what I thought. I mean, to your point, it's like, yeah, well, at some point you'd have to. He played so well, you'd have to go back to him, wouldn't you? And they didn't, and people could point to that justifiably.
Yeah, Jerry, watching. Go ahead. Jerry, watching Nick Clifford, and I've kind of thought about this throughout the season. The 3-point shot seems like a struggle to him, and the Kings want him to be maybe a point guard. You guys have convinced me, and what I've seen, I'm convinced the speed is not there. The foot speed, I think the size hurts him a little bit. Is it time to bulk Nick up? Because it doesn't feel like he's necessarily strong enough for that 2-3 position and walk away from the point aspirations.
I think that's a great point. I mean, I think he's going to have to be able to get minutes at both wing positions, a big guard and small forward, and he'd be awfully small for a small forward. But in today's game, at the pace like we saw today, you can match up. And so, but strength is probably more of a factor than size, height. I mean, and so I agree with you there. I think that would be his best way of being productive, being more of the 2-3 variety as opposed to a 1-2.
When you look at his shot, is it too much legs?
That's a great point. I can't tell. I think with him, his 3-point shot is one of those. He's one of those guys that really needs to have an open, clean look.
Okay.
It's not a quick delivery. Same way with Carter. Carter, as you can see, really takes a while, and that's why he'll shoot 5 foot deeper even just to get so he has a little more space. But I just think his delivery, we're not talking Steph Curry here or Zach LaVine with the quick delivery. So, and maybe that can be improved, but it just seems to me like he really needs to be selective and open to be a consistent shooter.
Yeah, well, he's got stuff to work on this offseason. So, Jerry, you think the continued development will include the summer league, correct?
I do. I mean, I haven't seen any Hall of Fame first ballot Hall of Famers yet, so I would think so. I mean, with Ryno, it might be different if he's involved with the French national team. I think that
good point.
That would be much better for him anyway.
That'd be much better, no question. But Clifford, Carter, even though Carter's he's been in the league 2 years, he really should too, because he really only had one summer league, and certainly Cardwell.
Jerry. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. How does that hit a player like Dylan Carter if you're going into your, the 12th pick, and you're going into your 3rd season and still playing summer league?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I know how I'd approach it. You need to play in the summer league. There's a lot more to be proven. I mean, obviously, if you just went off tonight's game, you'd say, oh, no, he doesn't need to play in that. But most of us have watched a lot of games this year, and most of them have been like this.
Yeah.
No.
So there, and he wasn't good in summer league last year.
Well, here's what tonight did do. The Kings cannot finish with the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd worst record. So they are either 4th or 5th, tied with Utah right now. So keep that in mind. The worst 3 teams, it's going to be Washington on the clock. Well, again, the lottery clock. They have the best odds. and Indiana's got 62 losses, and Brooklyn has 61. The Jazz and the Kings have 59 losses. So they're going down to game 82. And again, all the games on Sunday, they start at the same time. If you look at the schedule, we know that the Kings are in Portland. The Blazers won tonight. They beat the Clippers, and the Jazz are in LA to take on the Lakers. Again, all of these games start at the same time of 5:30 in the afternoon on Sunday for the West Coast games.
And I think you pointed out the Trailblazers are going to have nothing to play for because
I don't think so. I'm looking at the tiebreaker. Help me out with this. They split the season series 2-2. They're not in the same division. So then they go to the conference record, and the Blazers have a better conference record by a couple of games. So that would be the second tiebreaker because they're not within the same division, I believe is how that goes. Correct?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't either, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
But they would need a Clippers victory and a Blazers loss to force the tiebreaker on Sunday.
Correct. That is correct. They have that is correct. Okay. That's correct. They would have the Clippers would have to win and the Blazers would have to lose. That is correct. But that may have already been. I'm trying to find out when you're not in the same division. I don't think the divisional records come into play there. I think it's head-to-head competition, which is 2-2, and then the conference record.
All right.
I'll tell you right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just, Jerry, we've talked about it all season, but Washington has a far more cohesive team. They chose to sit Trae Young and Anthony Davis the rest of the season, and here they sit in the one hole.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, obviously they've been tanking for years, and I think they finally decided we got to go get some veterans, which they have if those guys are healthy starting next year, which are probably healthy now. but then would be fortunate enough to get to AJ DeBonsa. I mean, their process should be over. I'm not saying they're going to go win 50 games, but they should be a winner if in fact everybody they got the first pick and those two guys are healthy.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're set up to make a vast improvement. Whether they will or not, I don't know. But the thing I was thinking on that in my mind, just talking to people around the league that I know, is it's pretty much everybody. It's becoming a consensus, and it may change that DeBonsa's number one pick.
Yes.
Now, what isn't the consensus is who's number two, and I mean, there's about 3 or 4 guys that different teams see as that guy. So from the Kings' perspective, you know, whether you're 4th or 5th, you might still get the guy you want. You know, I mean, that's either beholder. It's a little bit. I always go back to the year Danny Ainge at Boston had the number 1 pick, and they knew Philly, and most teams were going to take, the guard in Washington that we had last year. I can't think.
Markelle Fultz.
Markelle Fultz. Well, Danny knew he wasn't that good, and so he knew he could get what he thought was the best player with the 3rd pick, Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
And so sometimes your guy is there, the best guy is there later on, and so.
Well, if we go off of what we know about Scott Perry in last year's draft, he likes guys that have been in school for a little bit. He likes guys that are long and athletic. Now, where that falls, when you look at the best players available, you could probably make that argument for most of them, other than Acuff, about the athleticism or the length, excuse me. It should be interesting because then you think like Caleb Wilson, right? Is that the guy Scott Perry might like? But we'll see. I mean, there's still all those measurables, Jerry. I mean, or I guess I should ask you, does the combine with the measurables really matter? Or is that really important because it's the first time the NBA teams get their hands on a guy?
Well, I think it helps because you get accurate height and accurate length and weight and all that. I always remember, always hear the TV announcers, various calling Kevin Durant 7 foot. Well, he's not. He was 6'5" and 3/4 in the combine. He says he's 6'10". That's basically what he is. Yeah. And so that's I like that, and And of course, the combine, you get a chance to spend time with the players and get to know them a little bit. And I think that's important. But I do think the measurables, you know, are a factor,
Yeah.
less so than how they play.
Right.
Yeah, very interesting. Don't forget that this weekend you can get down to Bennett's for their outstanding brunch tomorrow and Sunday. Go to bennettsrestaurants.com, Sacramento, Roseville, and the West Side Grill. That's Bennett's Restaurants, Prime Seafood and Steaks. Go to bennettsrestaurants.com to make a reservation. Get down there for the weekend brunch. Outstanding food, prime seafood and steaks at Bennett's. Kings win. And isn't it interesting that as you get ready to play game 82 on Sunday, the Phoenix Suns and the Portland Trailblazers are 7th and 8th respectively, and their futures look pretty good right now when you look at those two franchises, guys.
Yeah, and they went about it so different. I mean, Phoenix kind of were going for it for several years, as they should have been when they were winning most games in the league. But then they just kind of said, let's get rid of Bradley Beal, get rid of Durant, and let Booker be the guy. But then you look at Portland; it's been a 3 or 4, 5-year process. They've got all kinds of high draft picks on that roster.
Yeah.
And so, but they're on the right track. It sure looks like they are to me.
Yeah, two teams that are so different with the way that they play. But yeah, I kind of like where Phoenix is at because Devin Booker is just really in that comfortable position right now. I think he is prime to be able to really take off. If you need a 35, 40, 50-point game, there's enough of that cast around him now that can get him that separation.
And the kind of the outlier to some degree, I think will pay off for him as they go forward. Jalen Green's got an awful lot of talent.
Yeah.
And he's still kind of, I think they're finding their way with him and he's finding his way with them. But they've got another young, real, obviously former second pick in the draft or third pick, whatever he was. But another nice young piece to add to and maybe help Booker a little more.
Yeah.
Do you know this, guys? Somebody's going to be licking their chops at playing the Lakers in the first round.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
no doubt about that.
That's who you want to draw. That's for sure. I mean, there's just no way Luka and Reeves get back, and poor LeBron is 41 years old, and that guy is still probably one of the 10 best players in the league. It's amazing.
Yeah. Hey, they're going to be fine. Remember, Jake LaRavia was at the top of their free agent board. So I like Jake. LaRavia will come through for him.
Yeah. I like Jake too, but I don't see him replacing Luka and Reeves. Do you? I mean,
no, not at all.
Well, the one thing that's a real problem that continues to be for this franchise, as we put another home portion of the schedule in the books, since they moved into Golden One Center, it has not really been beneficial to them in terms of win-losses. Even when they were in the playoffs a couple of years ago, their home court record, and this year is understandable because of all of the injuries, but over the tenure of Golden One Center, which I think is 10 years now or close to it, it's just has not been a home court advantage for this franchise.
Yeah, it's that really is true. And I mean, it's been, like you say, for 10 years. I mean, I do think, honestly, and you guys would have a better, maybe as good opinions, but I just thought Old Arco was just a much better atmosphere for a home team.
Yeah.
A little more intimidating, and because of just the closeness and all that. I mean, obviously Golden One's a fabulous building and much more beautiful and space and all that. But I think just the play on the court, I just thought that was much more of a home court advantage, Old Arco.
So you guys know the league far better than I do, but I've talked to some people around it and some people in college, and I've been looking into why is the shooting so much better for other teams at Golden One versus Arco. And it's not drastic, but what Arco had, Jerry, was a much different depth perception in the arena than any of the other arenas in the league. You had the fans further back from the basket, and I think that does play a little bit into it.
Oh, I do too. I mean, it was the only arena, where you had, beverage gals push, walking onto the court to
Right.
get to the fans. And
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of times the referees wouldn't even cross underneath the basket because of no room. And so that even affected officiating at times. I mean, it was really a dangerous situation. Grant and I talked about that a lot. You had the photographers, I mean, players, they're right on them. And now, but in my mind, all of that combined made for a little bit of a home court advantage.
Right.
A little more so.
Right. 100%.
Okay, but wouldn't you getting a chance to play and practice when you want shoot arounds more so than practice because they practice in the facility? Wouldn't that again make it so that you're accustomed and used to that shooting background in that arena, whereas a road team comes in and they're not used to it? Like, how do you look at that?
Well, the way I look at it is mainly the Kings 3-point defense has been awful. I mean,
well, that's true, and that's the point I'm trying to get. I mean,
yeah, no, I think
right.
that's a big part of it because you can't have teams come in that have been shooting 33% and all of a sudden they shoot 40 on a consistent. We've seen that so much. So, and then just the caliber of shots, your eye test will tell you.
Yeah.
How's that guy in the corner wide open?
Yeah.
And it happens. So yeah, that usually shooting percentage is kind of like batting average. If you get enough good pitches to hit, you'll probably hit better.
Yeah, no, for sure. Those things will all make things different. I just think that Arco was that one building that was so much different from the rest in the NBA. And now Golden One is just another of what you have in the NBA with the very similar separation between the basket and where the fans start coming into play behind the backboards.
Yeah, I would say, just to cut to the chaser a little bit, I mean, really the on court for every team that comes in there, once the game starts, our court looks and baskets looks like theirs.
Yeah. All right, let's get to Gary. Gary, well, you'll join Jerry Reynolds tonight with me and Ryno. Hi, Gary. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks, guys. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good. I want to thank you for a great season, and I want to know if you guys think Dylan Carter is going to be able to make the starting team next year. Because
Who's Dylan Carter?
I mean, Cardwell.
Who's Cardwell?
No, Carter.
He's not a starter. He's a role player, in my opinion. He's too limited offensively to start.
Do you think he's going to make the team? And I think Neek has finally found his groove the last 3 games.
Do I think Dylan Cardwell is going to make the team? Yes, he has a 2-year contract, and he's clearly going to be on the team. Come on, Gary.
No, Carter, the guy with the headband.
Carter. Guys, I'll let you tackle this. He's also on the contract. My gut feeling, and I'll turn it over to Jerry and Ryno, Gary, and get their thoughts. I think he's going to be on another team, but go ahead. Ryno, you go first.
I think the Kings, if they could get the right deal for Devin, they would. I don't know if that ask is going to be out there. And Jerry, the other thing you have to take into account is his salary is relatively low compared to everything else that's on the books.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's like a lot of guys. If they could get a deal for him they would do something, and he might be a throw-in on a deal. But to Gary's point, I mean, he's good enough to play. He's starting to show that. In my opinion, he's not going to be ready to be a starter on a winner yet.
Here's my opinion. The Kings have made it very clear that he's not part of their future, and tonight's game is not going to change their opinion. They've already made it clear he's not part of their future. I believe that. I believe Scott Perry made that determination in the summer. I don't believe that enough of his body of work has changed Scott Perry's opinion. That's the way I view it. And I personally feel he'll be on another team next year. That's my guess. Now, Jerry has always said, Gary, and Jerry's been spot on, do not give up on guards and bigs too early. And we saw what happened with Davion Mitchell.
I totally agree. Yeah. And look at Keon Ellis. Keon Ellis is killing it in Cleveland, and we gave him up. Yep. How does Keon Ellis not play for the Kings? This is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And we are all on agreement with you on that, Gary.
Sure.
All right. Guys, have a great summer and see you next year.
Thank you, Gary. We appreciate your
Gary.
Thanks,
support.
Gary.
Thank you for following us, and we appreciate your support. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
I don't think Carter is a Scott Perry. I just don't think he's on Scott Perry's keeping list. I think he's on we're going in a different direction list.
Yeah, he didn't draft him. So, I always say, and then that depends a lot on who he drafts next year. It could very well be a guard. You got to take the best player available. And so, yeah, I think it's good for the Kings that he's playing as well as he has, because I think he might be of interest to some teams, especially, in part of another kind of deal. So there's that. But it's going to be a huge summer. Not just the draft, but man, there's got to be a lot of missing parts and movable parts.
Yeah, and you got to look at also what Daquan Plowden, how he improves over the summer. I think that's somebody that definitely should be at Summer League. Again, if he improves and he can play some minutes in that same spot, do a couple things a little bit better. Definitely, I think he shoots three ball a little bit better, but then that's again a cheaper player. And the Kings, the finances are everything this offseason for this team.
Yeah, that's going to be the big factor with Achua.
Yep.
And I think Plowden and Achua are two guys that they probably should, certainly Achua, but Plowden too, in my mind, to keep on the roster when you got 15 spots. He's proven to be an NBA player. And, and at the right price.
So Jerry, let me ask you this. I asked Grant on the radio, assuming Zach LaVine, you can't do anything with him, and we all know he's going to opt in at this point. It's been pretty widely reported. Come draft day, if Domantas Sabonis, or after the draft, if Domantas Sabonis is still on the team, do you think there's any feasible way that you can have Domas and Precious on the same team because of the finances?
I doubt it. I don't hardly see how they can get it done, because I think that Precious has created enough interest around the league that he's going to have, certainly more suitors than Jake LaRavia did. And so I think that might be a tough one to keep, and that could hurt. But there again, it depends. We talked about the last game. It depends on the draft a little bit, because if you were lucky and say get Wilson or Devonta, then you would probably not have any real need for him anyway.
Okay, last question. I'm being selfish. What kind of range or number would you put on Precious per year right now?
Oh, well, I think he might get 8 to 10, for maybe 2-year guarantee type thing, maybe a 3rd-year team option. I think that's the range he'd be in, which would be a big step from where he is.
Absolutely. Yep. I'm with you there.
I can guarantee he feels he's worth more. The question is there a team out there willing to give him more? I'm going to make a bold prediction right now about Domantas Sabonis. I think if Doug Christie is retained as head coach, there's no way he's going to be on the team next year. I think if the Kings make a coaching change, I'll put it at 50-50 that he's on the team next year.
Yeah, I think the odds are that they'll move him if they can get a deal that's workable.
Yes.
I think they like where they're going with their 2 young bigs, and I don't disagree with that. I think Domas would probably better serve somewhere else at this stage of his career.
Yep. Hey, I want to tell you about Sunrise Landing in Calusa. Right now, they've got 3 homes available that are basically turnkey. Everything's done. You can move right in at this beautiful development in Calusa, Sunrise Landing, a Blazona development project. No Mellorews, no homeowners, close to I-5, 45, Highway 20. So it's accessible, no problem getting there. It's adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club. The website has all the information. You can check out the homes that are currently available right now for immediate move-in. They also have 4 or 5 homes where you can still pick out the interiors. And then there's another phase of homes that will be ready at the end of the summer that you will also be able to pick out the interiors of the home. So just go to CalusaSunrise.com and check everything out at beautiful Sunrise Landing in Calusa. Well, the Kings end up the home portion of the schedule with a win. And now we wait and see what happens on Sunday, as the Kings are currently tied with the Jazz for the worst record in the Western Conference, going right down to game 82 in terms of slotting in the draft. Now, the Kings are in Portland. The Jazz are in LA to take on the Lakers.
Well,
any final thoughts, guys?
I'll be happy when the 82 is over. I'll tell you that.
It's coming up real soon.
Yeah, real soon. And yeah, it's been just a very interesting year, and it does seem like that, with Ryno, there's really a lot of reason to be optimistic. Cardwell to some degree, and but I still say, boy, it's going to be a heck of a summer. And I think
Yep.
On 890, you guys are going to have a lot to talk about all summer long on Kings basketball. Really.
Well, we appreciate it. Ryno, any final thoughts before we say have a good weekend, everybody?
I am deferring to the both of you. Thank you, everybody, for a tremendous season again. And we're going nowhere. We will still be right here.
Yep. We are still going to be doing a lot of shows, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll be with you. And, of course, over on Fox Sports Sacramento, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6. Jerry, Ryno, have a great weekend. For everybody else, thank you for your support. We'll wrap up the season on Sunday after the Kings take on the Portland Trail Blazers. Until then, stay safe, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye now.